Hi, welcome to 5 Minutes with Torah with the BI Rabbi. I'm Rabbi Adam Stein. I'm standing here in a lovely little neighborhood in the Dunbar area. Just had my teeth cleaned. But I realized that I'm standing just maybe 20, 30 meters from the corner where last August, early August, there was a terrible fire at a construction site where they were building a 6-story building. The building was burned. It spread to 6 other homes, I think. There were 400-something homes without power after. A gas line exploded. A construction crane came down. I looked at my calendar from last year. I think I was actually down driving my younger son to Camp Solomon Schechter. We heard about this fire because our dentist's office sent out a text letting people know that their phone lines and electricity were out and they were going to be closed for the day. And I marvel at how, thankfully, I don't think there were injuries or deaths, thank God. But I marvel at that these small tragedies and big tragedies that we hear about every day, and there's so many. There's so many that it's sometimes hard to hold on to in our hearts and our minds. There are wars that continue to rage around the world. This morning in the radio, I hear the Russia and Ukrainian delegations were going to sit down today at a summit in Istanbul, and maybe would have some breakthrough, maybe some sun coming through the clouds in this war between Russia and Ukraine, been going on since, I think, February 2022, well over 3 years, but really since 2014. And what do we find out but the delegation's meeting didn't amount to anything, sadly. There's no breakthrough in Russia and Ukraine. Putin didn't show up. Zelensky wasn't going to meet with some low-level delegation. The delegations that did meet for 2 hours, nothing came of that, nothing realistic at all. So just like in Vancouver, you can see no sun coming through the clouds here in May, and none there. And for so many of us around the Jewish world, it's not just long civil war in Sudan and other things around the world in Russia and Ukraine, but so often every day, it's Israel and the war that continues to go on in Israel and Gaza. Israel continuing to fight Hamas, continuing to try to get the remaining living hostages and the bodies of dead hostages, captives, back. And we go on now with creeping up on 600 days. That will come up soon. I wish I could say that we won't hit the 600-day mark, but it's hard to hope for things like that now that we never thought it would be 100 days or 200 days or 3 or 4 or 500 days. But there was a little bit of light in the clouds just this past week. Idan Alexander, a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen, and there's so many U.S. citizens and Canadian citizens who live in Israel or have dual nationality or residents of Israel. 600,000 Americans live there, I think. Might be almost as many as Americans who live in Vancouver. But Idan Alexander, who was mentioned out loud by Cory Booker when he was speaking for so long in the Senate a couple months ago, Idan Alexander was released. Now the last dual American to be released. And it's an amazing reunion with his family. And then I read today another one of the hostages, his mother got confirmation that her son is still alive. She got confirmation from Idan Alexander, and we hope that now is still true several days or weeks later from whenever he last saw him. And today is Lag Ba Omer, another light in the clouds. My beard will be trimmer in a couple hours. My hair will be a little trimmer. Many of us go without beard trims or haircuts, indicating that this is a period of sadness, semi-mourning period in the Jewish year from the second day of Passover through Shavuot, and especially until Lag Ba Omer, when, as we mourn a plague that affected Rabbi Akiva's students, the plague was lifted, we're told. And this plague was because they didn't respect each other enough, the tradition says. But the plague was lifted on Lag Ba Omer. So on this Lag Ba Omer, let us hope that in many places of difficulty around the world, and especially in Israel, and for our hostages and the conflict that continues to rage in Gaza, that we have some light in the clouds as well. Shabbat Shalom, and happy Lag Ba Omer.